Ambassador Rachel Stone stood at the podium in the Grand Assembly Hall, holding the Treaty of Terran Integration in her hands. 3 years of negotiations, countless diplomatic sessions, and humanity's formal entry into galactic civilization, all condensed into 100 pages of carefully worded legal text. The assembled representatives from 49 species watched with smug satisfaction as she began to speak. They had finally cornered the troublesome humans, forced them to accept terms that would ensure Earth remained a minor player in galactic affairs. "Esteemed counselors," Stone began, her voice carrying clearly through the vast chamber, "humanity has carefully reviewed the treaty you've presented to us." High Chancellor Vextorin of the Hegemony leaned forward in his crystalline seat, his faceted features glittering with anticipation. The terms were simple. Humans would provide raw materials and labor to the established galactic powers in exchange for limited access to advanced technology and protection from external threats. It was the same deal they'd forced on every emerging species for the past millennium. None had ever refused. However, Stone continued, "We have some concerns about several clauses." Counselor Thrakesh made a dismissive gesture with his tentacles. "The terms are non-negotiable, human. Your species lacks the military or economic leverage to demand modifications." Stone nodded politely. "You may be right, which is why humanity has decided to pursue an alternative approach." With deliberate precision, she tore the treaty in half. The silence that followed was deafening. In 3,000 years of galactic governance, no species had ever rejected a council integration treaty. The very concept was unthinkable. "You cannot be serious," Chancellor Vextorin whispered, his voice fracturing across multiple harmonic frequencies. "Without council protection, your species will be destroyed by the first raider fleet that finds Earth." "Possibly," Stone agreed, tearing the treaty into smaller pieces. "But we'll face the threat as free beings, not as indentured servants." "This is madness." Counselor Zektar rose from his seat, his bioluminescent patches flaring with agitation. "You have barely achieved interstellar flight. Your weapons are primitive. Your technology is centuries behind ours." Stone scattered the treaty fragments across the podium like confetti. "You're absolutely right. We're outgunned, outnumbered, and outmatched." She looked up at the assembled council with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "But there's something you need to understand about humans." The chamber fell silent again, sensing something dangerous in her tone. "We spent our entire evolutionary history fighting things bigger, stronger, and more advanced than ourselves. We killed creatures the size of buildings with pointed sticks. We conquered apex predators with tools made from rocks. We turned a hostile planet into our home through sheer bloody-minded stubbornness." She stepped back from the podium, her voice growing harder with each word. "You offer us survival in chains. We choose freedom and fire. You think we're bluffing because no sane species would choose war over subjugation." Her smile turned predatory. "Counselors, let me introduce you to humanity's defining characteristic. We are not a sane species." Stone turned and walked toward the exit, her footsteps echoing in the stunned silence. At the threshold, she paused and looked back one final time. "Earth rejects your protection, your terms, and your authority. If you want our world, come and take it. But know this, we may not win, but we will make you pay such a price for victory that every other species in the galaxy will remember what it cost to enslave humanity." The door sealed behind her with a soft hiss, leaving the most powerful beings in the galaxy staring at a pile of torn paper and contemplating the terrifying prospect of a war against a species crazy enough to prefer annihilation over submission. For the first time in millennia, the Galactic Council found themselves asking a question they'd never had to consider. What do you do when the prey refuses to be prey?